What's up, everybody? GeauxBurns welcoming you to another installment of my Q&A series. Here you can ask me questions about almost anything. The games I play, personal questions, advice, etc. Now what's interesting is this is going to be the very first Q&A that I've done that does not involve a Grand Theft Auto online question or a GTA 5 question. For the most part, it's all about Mafia 3. Now, before we get started with Q&A 16.0, a disclaimer, I may not have all the answers to your questions that have been submitted regarding Mafia 3, but I'm going to do my best, okay? Some of it may be speculation on my part, but I'm going to give it the schoolgirl try. The first question comes from Online Gamer. I'm starting with him because his question is the only non-Mafia 3 question that I have. How does it feel to have 100 Twitter followers? Do you feel proud? Is this a life-changing experience? And will you follow Online Gamer on Twitter? Alright, I'll follow you on Twitter, okay? I don't really follow that many people on Twitter. Mostly, it's just, like different, like games that I follow, like Grand Theft Auto, Mafia 3, etc. But I will follow you, Online Gamer, because you asked, and because you're one of my faithful subscribers. Okay, so the reason why I started this Q&A to begin with was to celebrate the fact that somehow, by a miracle of Twitter proportions, I now have over 100 followers. Last time I checked, 104 to be precise. And that's kind of a big deal to me because I don't know what I'm doing when it comes to Twitter. And I realize there's people out there that got 1,000 followers, 10,000 followers, 100,000 followers, whatever. But as the old saying goes, it's better to have 104 followers on Twitter than 0 followers. Even though I think some of those followers are fake accounts, I don't know. But anyways, to answer the rest of Online Gamers' questions, because I think I basically talked about how I feel about having 100 Twitter followers. Am I proud? I guess, yeah, I'm proud. Is it a life-changing experience? Not really. But since we're talking about Twitter, if you want to follow me on Twitter or like me on my Facebook page, feel free and do so, both of which listed below in the description section. Thanks for the question, Online Gamer. Moving on to our next Q&A 16.0 question comes from royoucampbell. I hope I pronounced your first name correctly. If I didn't, I apologize. Will there be a safe house in Mafia 3 and gunshot wounds, clubs, planes, and boat? Alright, so let's go through this. First off, regarding the safe house. I believe that there will be a safe house or safe houses because there was in Mafia 2. Plus, we also have this official concept art from Hangar 13, which shows the interior of what most likely is a safe house, or it could very well be another character's pad. Whatever the case may be, I'm pretty sure that Lincoln Clay will have at least one or several safe houses. Now, regarding gunshot wounds, I think I have seen some images that have been put out there during the demo, the gameplay of Mafia 3, where Lincoln Clay is actually wounded or he's bleeding in certain spots. So I think there will be gunshot wounds. Clubs, Monday we got a new postcard for Big Mouth Jazz and Blues, which is obviously a club that's going to be in New Bordeaux in Mafia 3. So I don't know if that's just going to be just a random building you walk by, or is it going to be a building you can go inside and enjoy jazz music while having a drink, or maybe it's even a property that Lincoln Clay can take over. So we know that we have at least one club in Mafia 3, and that's Big Mouth. But since it is based on New Orleans and the French Quarter, I'm pretty sure that the French Ward will have several different clubs besides the Big Mouth that you'll be able to go into, hopefully. Now, regarding planes and boats, it's very possible that we may have boats in Mafia 3 because New Orleans is surrounded by water. You have the Red River, you have Lake Pontchartrain, which is basically kind of like a sea. It's a pretty huge lake. Then, of course, you also have the bayou and the swamp, which means there are a lot of boats in and around the New Orleans area, in New Orleans Parish. So the same thing could be said for New Bordeaux, especially since it's obvious that there is going to be water in there, such as the Bayou, which is one of the districts. So I'm hoping that we're going to have boats in Mafia 3 that we can use. Regarding planes, I don't think so, because we didn't have planes that we could use in Mafia 1 or Mafia 2, so I seriously doubt we'll have planes in Mafia 3. But I think we might just be able to use boats. Then again, I could be wrong. The next question comes from ShamWow. Of the multiple areas of the map, what one are you most excited to take over? I'm definitely excited for the Bayou. Well, that's what ShamWow's excited for. As am I. I think the Bayou is going to be really cool because it's not going to be like the city. It's going to be out in the woods and the swamp and might be a completely different environment than what you have to deal with up in New Bordeaux. So down in the bayous, there's probably going to be less people down there, but there may be more hazards. Like, for example, in the reveal trailer, we did see an alligator, so we don't know if alligators are actually going to be a thing in the game. Hopefully so. But maybe there won't be just alligators. Maybe there'll be snakes. Maybe there'll be other animals to contend with as well as, you know, the moonshiners, because there's supposed to be steals down in the bayou that you'll be able to take over. In order to do that, you're going to have to take care of the moonshiners first. Now, of the 9 districts of the map, which one am I most excited to take over? Probably the most lively one, which is French Ward, aka the French Quarter in real life, because there's going to be a lot of cool stuff happening in the French Ward, which is where a lot of the fun is going to be. That's where the music is, where the people are partying, drinking, have a good time. There's going to be several establishments, obviously, in the French Ward that hopefully we'll be able to take over. That'll be very lucrative. But there's other districts as well. Let me know below in the comment section, which district are you most interested in? The Bayou, the French Ward, downtown, the high-end, low-end district, construction. I believe there's also a port. Which of these districts are you most interested in taking over when Mafia 3 comes out in October? Our next question comes from Ahmed. I have a question for Mafia 3. After we finish from the whole story, is it possible to hang out with Vito, Burke, and Cassandra? Like, for example, to have a drink or do some crazy stuff. Well, to be honest, I honestly don't know if we're going to be able to do that. For one thing, we weren't able to in Mafia 2. Now, I'm pretty sure the Mafia 3 will be different in a lot of ways from Mafia 2, but once you finish the story, the only way you could do any replay was go back and replay the chapters. So if there was a particular chapter you liked that you kind of didn't do as good in, you could go back and replay it. But once the story was over, you couldn't exactly go back into an open world environment, which really sucks. So hopefully we'll have more freedom there. We won't have to go and do this story and do that story and that story in order to, you know, play the game. Hopefully we'll be able to have some downtime, a chance to go do some side quests, have some fun, and perhaps even hang out with Vito, Burke, and Cassandra. But then again, it may depend on which of your lieutenants you favor more. If you are all about Vito, he may be the last lieutenant standing and Burke and Cassandra might be gone, you know, or vice versa. But maybe if you were able to balance it to where you try to keep all 3 happy, maybe by the time the game's over, you know, Vito, Burke, and Cassandra will still be around, and you might be able to go do things with them, but then again, maybe not. Maybe once the story's over, at the very least, we'll be able to hopefully, just hopefully, have other things to do, like just roam around New Bordeaux, goof off down in the swamp near the bayou, do the side quests, you know, get it up to 100% for everyone that's into that sort of thing, getting all the trophies, all the achievements. But Ahmed, as of right now, I honestly don't think we're going to be able to do anything with Vito, Burke, or Cassandra in between missions. We might be able to, similar to Grand Theft Auto 5, where you can be playing as Michael, Trevor, or Franklin, and you can call up one of the other 2 to go hang out, you know, play tennis, go drinking, go to the strip club, etc. But I don't know if that's going to be the case in Mafia 3. By the way, coming up on Sunday, June 12th, starting at 5:30 Pacific Time, which is 8:30 Eastern Time, or 1:30 a.m. in the UK on Monday, June 13th, IGN Live presents Mafia 3 E3 World Premiere. They're going to feature exclusive new footage and gameplay. Plus, I believe Hangar 13 is going to be on hand to answer some questions. So hopefully, we might actually get answers to some of the questions that you guys submitted for Q&A 16.0, because I'm pretty sure that these are very popular inquiries that other fans of the Mafia series are curious about. And I honestly don't know how it's going to go down, probably via Twitter over at IGN. And you'll just have to tweet questions to them. I'll let you know on that Sunday when it officially starts, via my Twitter page, of course, and over on the Facebook page. So you may want to follow me on Twitter and Facebook just to know exactly what transpires regarding the IGN Live presentation of Mafia 3 doing the E3 world premiere. Like I said, hopefully you'll be able to submit questions via Twitter, which would be awesome. And at the same time, I really want to see if any of these questions brought up in Q&A 16.0 might actually end up getting addressed. And the final question comes from the Dutch hero. He wants to know if there's going to be a casino in Mafia 3. Now, I would like to believe, Dutch, that there will be at least one or several casinos in Mafia 3, because there are casinos in real-life New Orleans. Not to mention the fact that this is a Mafia game, which means most of the properties that you'll be able to take over are controlled by the Marcano crime family. And it would only make sense that there's at least one or a few casinos in Mafia 3, because that's a very lucrative way for the mob to make some cash, which is why they took over Atlantic City and Vegas in real life. They didn't do it just to build attractions and shows. It was all about the money. But if you want me to give a straight answer and not be so wishy-washy, I'll do it. I'm going to say right now that I believe there's going to be at least one casino in Mafia 3, and I'm going to cite evidence from this article out of the New Bordeaux Tribune. I did a video on it a few weeks ago. It was article A5, and if you look in the bottom right-hand corner, there's an image of a hotel, and it says, Hotel and Casino Paradiso, or Paradiso. So this is very possibly a hotel casino that exists in New Bordeaux. Now, what's interesting about that video I just mentioned, the New Bordeaux Tribune section A5, is that Jay Gilmore left this comment. If you go on the Mafia 3 page, you will see an office battle scene where you go into an office and you see a scale model of the Paradiso Hotel. I figure it has something to do with the mob, since it seems like every hotel from the time involved has some sort of mob connection. So it's looking very apparent that there's at least one, maybe more casinos that we're going to find and maybe even take over in Mafia 3, which is coming October 7th to Xbox One, PlayStation 4, and PC.